Chapter 69. The Ninth Prince's Shattered Dreams. Guanju. Gu Hai looked at the white-clothed male in front of him suspiciously. Gu Hai revealed a hint of doubt and nodded. Prince Guanju's subordinates immediately rushed up to the sky and quickly grabbed 10 handicapped games and placed them in front of Guanju. Guanju merely swept a glance, probed his hand and sucked it in, and large swathes of pieces fell onto his hand. Pa 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 pa. Steeply, 10 white discs were thrown into the 10 handicapped games. Pa 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 pa. The 10 stumps also moved. The surrounding cultivators looked at this Guanju in surprise. 10 discs. He played 10 discs together. Are you kidding? 10 discs at the same time. How is he going to crack it? He seems to be absent-minded. The crowd looked at Guanju in amazement, while Gu Hai steeply raised his eyebrows. Because the 10 pieces that Guanju had landed were the same as what he had in mind. Ha pa 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 pa. Another 10 pieces were thrown. The stalemate changed accordingly. Ha pa 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 pa. 10 white discs fell in the 10th round. Solved. The first disc is solved. The second disc is also solved. No, all 10 discs are solved. Amidst the crowd's astonishment, the 10 discs steeply transformed into a large amount of cloudy air rushing up into the sky, surrounding the huge floating island high in the sky. Mr. Gu, how was it? 9 Duke laughed. The surrounding crowd looked at the 9th Duke in shock. This Guanju is too evil, right? Was that a stalemate that we couldn't solve just now? How come in his hands? He solved it in 3 clicks. So easy. 10 games at once. This time, Ding Dong personally delivered the spirit stones to Guanju. This gentleman. This is the spirit stone you deserve. The fall just now was just too exquisite. Ding Dong emotionally stepped forward. Guanju glanced at Ding Dong and did not give a good face, turning his head and paying no more attention. Ding Dong's face stiffened. Duke 9's subordinate immediately stepped forward. Get out of the way. Don't disturb my son. Ding Dong's face stiffened even more. This is my Ding Long sect. Okay. Patriarch Ding, please don't disturb my son yet. The South Sea Chess King opened his mouth. Please also don't disturb Sovereign Ding. The North Sea Chess King spoke. Mr. Gu, how is it? Guanju laughed. Prince Guanju, the chess power is superb. Gu Hai nodded. Mr. Gu don't need to perfume me. That scene just now, you can do it too. You just don't want to do it. You want to feel out the 29 heaven and earth vertical and horizontal chess games. Guanju laughed. Gu Hai steeply raised his eyebrows. How many remaining games are there? Duke 9 asked. Your Excellency, there are still 1600 remaining games. A subordinate respectfully said. Fetch 1000 handicapped games over here. The 9th Prince spoke. 1000 discs. All the surrounding cultivators stared wide-eyed, thinking that Guanju had gone crazy. Yes, rumble. Steeply, 1000 chessboards were pulled down and lined up in all directions. Ding Dong's eyes widened. What was this Guanju going to do? Playing what? Did he still want 1000 pieces to be cracked at the same time? Gu Hai also looked at Guanju in amazement. However, he saw that Guanju slowly took out a crystal platform. On the crystal table, it seemed like there was a vortex, which looked exceptionally bizarre. Cast it in. Duke 9 spoke. Yes. A group of subordinates quickly threw 1000 stumps into the vortex of the crystal stage. It went in from the top of the stage and emerged from the bottom. The stalemate diagram didn't change, as if it had merely passed through one channel, but, on the crystal stage, the vortex gradually disappeared. It transformed into a remnant of 29 vertical and horizontal lines. This is, Gu Hai was surprised. This chess table of mine can coalesce all the maze locks of these 1000 stalemate games into this single game. What you see here is the most perfect fusion of these 1000 stalemate games. Playing this one game is equivalent to playing 1000 stalemate games, the 9 Duke said. Gu Hai looked at the chessboard in amazement. The pieces on the board were each 29 longitudinal paths and a large number of black and white pieces had already been dropped. Thousands of stalemate games surrounded it, as if the chess platform had a force field enveloping the thousands of stalemate games. "Mergu, please," the ninth duke laughed. Gu Hai nodded with a hint of complexity on his face. The two of them took their seats and looked at the crystal chess table in front of them. "Mr. Gu, you go first," the ninth duke laughed. Gu Hai looked at the ninth duke suspiciously and didn't dwell on it much, grabbing a black seed and slowly landing on it. Snap! A sun fell. All of the 1,000 remnants of the game round them steeply moved. Snap, 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 snap. 1,000 black pieces fell, but the white pieces did not move. It was as if the stump game had changed. The ninth prince smiled faintly and grabbed a white disc to land on the crystal table. Snap, clap, 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 clap. On the 1,000 handicap games, 1,000 white discs followed and fell. This, Guanju's falling discs, replacing the white discs falling from the stump game. How could this be? The surrounding cultivators looked at the bizarre scene in front of them in amazement. There are a total of 3,000 stump games. I only took 1,000 of them, so what you have in front of you is only 1/3 of the 29 heaven and earth vertical and horizontal chess game. There's no power of reversal. Mergu, go ahead and make your move. 9 duke laughed. Gu Hai nodded, took a deep breath, and carefully looked at the chessboard. This game of chess hid in many mists. Watching it, Gu Hai seemed to be somewhat mesmerized. On the side, the South Sea Chess King and the North Sea Chess King all stared at the chessboard with wide eyes, and as they watched, their minds sank into it as well. Snap, snap. Ancient Sea. The 9 dukes slowly dropped their pieces. The thousands of pieces around were pulled and moved. Although the countless cultivators around could not understand it, they waited patiently. It can't be true, can it? Cracking 1,000 stumps at the same time. Ding Dong's face revealed a complex expression. Snap! Gu Hai dropped a single sun. Until the 20th sun, abruptly, Gu Hai felt a trance in his spirit and seemed to see a huge peony flower in front of his eyes. Buzz! Gu Hai felt his consciousness drilling into the peony flower. Boom! After drilling into the peony flower, a loud noise came out steeply. Gu Hai fixed his eyes, and it was as if he was standing on a vast sea. A storm was coming and a monstrous tsunami washed straight at Gu Hai. Illusionary realm. Gu Hai's face changed. Boom! Gu Hai was instantly slapped away by the tsunami. Ah! Gu Hai let out a shriek as he fell from mid-air. Snap! Gu Hai turned his head to look. However, he saw the white-clothed male, Guanju, standing on top of the sea island. Where is this? Where is this that my consciousness entered? Gu Hai was surprised. It's in the game of chess you played. If you close your eyes, you can go out. Guanju laughed. Gu Hai's eyes narrowed slightly. Buzz! Steeply, Gu Hai seemed to wake up and opened his eyes to look around, still sitting in the Dinglong Sex Yuron Valley. What was going on here? Guanju sat opposite the crystal chess table and looked at Gu Hai with a smile, or not. Gu Hai's face was awed for a while. Mr. Gu, it's your turn to make a move, Guanju laughed. Gu Hai was silent for a moment, and once again a piece fell. Snap! Gu Hai dropped a piece, and his consciousness once again went to that ocean in general. In the vastness of heaven and earth, it seemed like only himself and Guanju were left. What's going on? My consciousness is here. How did I enter here again? Is this the chess world? Gu Hai was surprised. This is the incomplete 29 worlds. You only came in with your consciousness. If the 3,000 remnants of the game coalesced the 29 heaven and earth vertical and horizontal chess games at the same time, it could be more than just a consciousness. Your physical body could also come in. Guanju nodded. In the past, in the world of the innate remnants of the game, the 9 duke I saw was a fake. You're the game heaven pavilion, the 9th prince. Gu Hai raised his eyebrows and stared at Guanju. Guanju smiled faintly and said, Mr. Gu is so wise. This is the world of the 29 heaven and earth vertical and horizontal chess games. A chess game can also create a world. Gu Hai was surprised. This is incomplete, however. A perfect 29 chess game creates an imperfect world. 28 is a cloud beast killing formation. 29 creates a world. No, it should be a world prototype. Guanju nodded. World fledgling. There's a 29 heaven and earth vertical and horizontal chess game in the Dafengang, and there's one in the Dinglong sect as well. Gu Hai stared at Guanju. Not bad. This is one of the Pavilion Master's layouts. Guanju nodded. Another elder chess viewer. Gu Hai frowned deeply. Oh, Gu Hai said doubtfully. Although the Pavilion Master perished, but left behind an inheritance, I got a copy of the inheritance, which contains the countless efforts of the Pavilion Master. I would like to pass it on to Mergu. How about it? Guanju smiled. Elder Guanchi's inheritance. Gu Hai raised an eyebrow. Having heard Grandmaster Lunian speak, Old Mangguanchi should have been one of the strongest groups of people in the world back then. His inheritance could drive countless cultivators crazy. Passing it on to me. Ninth Gongzi. What do you mean? Gu Hai said doubtfully. Guanju laughed. You want me to be your double? Gu Hai frowned slightly. You can put it this way. All you need to do is walk around the world with the name Ninth Prince, and just make it known to the world that you are the Ninth Prince of the Yiqiong Pavilion, and you can continue to be called Gu Hai. Some of the outside forces of the Yiqiong Pavilion can still be at your disposal. You get the inheritance of the Pavilion Master and just carry the name of the Ninth Prince of the Yiqiong Pavilion. How about that? Guanju laughed. Gu Hai but stared at Guanju. His eyes became more and more complicated. Why? Oh, the Ninth Duke raised an eyebrow. This was even the first time he had been rejected. Let's continue to fall. Gu Hai said in a deep voice. The Ninth Duke looked at Gu Hai in a complicated manner. Gu Hai closed his eyes as his consciousness went out, following which he continued to fall. The Ninth Duke also continued to fall, and with each fall, the two entered this world of consciousness once. After all, after observing this period of time, it was too perfect for Gu Hai to be his double. Gu Hai stared at Nine Duke as he landed his pieces. Nine Duke, am I right in guessing that being your double, but having to cover some sort of disaster for you? Guanju stared at Gu Hai with a raised eyebrow. Your conditions are too easy and the rewards are too great. All I can think of is this, being Prince 9. There are risks. Gu Hai frowned. What makes you so fearful of the people who have obtained the legacy of the elder chess watcher? Gu Hai said in a deep voice. Guanju was slightly silent for a while and stopped speaking. Nine Gongzi's face changed. Boom. As Gu Hai landed a piece, 100 stumps abruptly burst apart. Unraveled. Gu Hai unraveled 100 stumps. Steeply. Someone exclaimed in shock. Ding Dong also looked at this scene with astonishment. It was true. Those 100 pieces blasted into clouds and mist rushing high into the sky. And the original stalemate above the high altitude also blasted apart. Apparently Gu Hai had solved it. In the middle of the chess game's world of consciousness, the Ninth Prince stared at Gu Hai in surprise. No, I got it wrong. Gu Hai looked at the Ninth Duke in confusion. You unraveled it. You actually solved it. You will be 8. The Ninth Duke's eyelids steeply fluttered furiously. What do you mean? 8 what? Gu Hai said in surprise. The Ninth Duke looked at Gu Hai for a moment in astonishment, and only after a while did he suddenly reveal a wave of bitterness. So that's it. I was overthinking. Ha 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 ha. I was overthinking. I shouldn't have come to the 9-5 Islands. Ha 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 ha. Gu Hai stared at the Ninth Duke and said, yes, he perished. But you don't understand the Pavilion Master's scheming. Since he laid out the big game of 9 and 5 islands, then, as long as the person who enters the game, no one can escape. Everyone was projected by him during his lifetime. You are so strong in chess. You definitely can't escape from the game. You can break the 29 heaven and earth vertical and horizontal chess games. 8. You mean the 8th Duke? Gu Hai stared at the 9th Duke with a raised eyebrow and said, Mr. Gu, it's not good for people to be too smart. The 9th Duke laughed bitterly. Oh, the 9-5 Islands layout. Could it be for the purpose of electing an 8th Duke? Gu Hai looked at the 9th Duke with wide eyes. Pretty much. You have a 90% chance of becoming the 8th Prince. Her, who made you so good at chess. It's better than even me. I wasn't even as good as you before I received the Pavilion Master's inheritance. The 9th Prince laughed bitterly. Her, 9th Duke, you're thinking too much. The chess-watching elder layout elects the 8th Duke. But what if I don't want to be this 8th Duke? Gu Hai disdainfully said. I didn't hold back then. Ha! The 9th Duke laughed bitterly. Gu Hai stared at the 9th Duke. A hint of complexity flashed in his eyes. Although I don't know what the chess-viewing elder's inheritance is, but I finally have a defense in my heart. The 8th Prince's name may be loud and clear, but I will try to restrain that temptation, Gu Hai solemnly said. You can't restrain it. You don't understand the generosity of the Pavilion Master. The Earth Dragon vein here, just a hitch that the Pavilion Master gifted. There are people who desperately want to be this 8th Prince, yet you still want to back out. Haha, it's useless to say more, you'll know when the time comes. But, a word of warning, the 9th Duke said with a solemn expression. Oh, I found out the other day that Long Wanqing was imprisoned in the Dinglong sect, imprisoned by Ding Rui. That Ding Dong is a distant relative of Ding Rui, you get it, right? The 9th Duke solemnly said. Oh, Hallmaster is imprisoned here. Gu Hai's face sank. The 9th Duke nodded. Also, that Tushang chess king is also your old acquaintance. Meng Tai pretending to be him. Meng Tai. Gu Hai raised an eyebrow. 3 great chess kings. South Sea chess king, North Sea chess king, and Tushang chess king. No wonder the Tushang chess king hadn't been taking care of himself. Make a move, the 9 Duke said. Gu Hai came out with his eyes closed. Snap. A black seed fell, rumble. The surrounding 900 remnants burst apart, turning into a puff of clouds that went straight to the huge floating island. Ding Dong and the other group of cultivators immediately opened their mouths wide. This was the stalemate game that they couldn't break in any way. Gu Hai alone, cracking 1,000 discs at once. I'm not dreaming, am I?